Picture yourself standing on an old wooden bridge stretched across a quiet river, the water glimmering beneath a silver moon, its soft ripples humming a melody of whispers and sighs. On the far side of the bridge stands Elias, a man in his late 30s, clad in a tattered gray coat. His hands are tucked deep in his pockets, but his fingers fidget restlessly, as if grasping for a key long lost. His shoulders are rigid, his eyes fixed on the distant horizon, as though tracing the outline of something that no longer exists. Elias says little, but his body speaks volumes, a story etched in every tense muscle, every shallow breath, written in the silent ink of pain and memory. Elias is not a character spun from fiction. He is one of millions who carry the echoes of experiences they've yet to release. In his groundbreaking book, The Body Keeps the Score, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk guides us on a profound journey into the depths of psychological trauma, unveiling a truth that feels like a revelation. Your body is not merely a vessel for your existence. It is a diligent scribe, chronicling every moment of fear, loss, or fleeting hope, even when your mind seeks to bury them in the shadows of forgetfulness. Let me pause to ask you this. Have you ever felt an inexplicable weight in your chest, as if an unseen hand is pressing against your heart for no clear reason? Or perhaps a tightness in your shoulders, as if your body is bracing for a storm that never arrives? These are not random sensations. They are the language of your body, an ancient dialect woven from your memories. Trauma, as van der Kolk explains, is not an event that fades when the moment passes. It's like a wave that crashes against the shore, then lingers in your depths, stirring silently until it finds a way to rise again. For Elias, the tension in his shoulders, that stubborn knot that refused to unravel, was tied to a memory from his teenage years. At 15, he stood frozen as his father's voice thundered through a violent family argument. He didn't fully grasp the chaos unfolding, but his body understood. His heart raced like a war drum, his muscles clenched as if ready to shield him, and his breath caught in his throat. That moment, seemingly fleeting, carved itself into his flesh. Years later, whenever he faced a decision or conflict, his body replayed that scene. His shoulders locked, his breath grew shallow, as if time had never passed. Let's step back for a moment to consider something deeper. Trauma isn't always a grand catastrophe like war or disaster. Often, it's the quiet accumulation of smaller wounds, like raindrops eroding a stone. It could be a cutting word from a parent, a sting of rejection at school, or the absence of comfort when you needed it most. These moments, however insignificant they seem, leave their mark. Your body records them, not as narratives you can recount, but as sensations. A lump in your throat, a heaviness in your chest, or a hollow ache in your gut. What sets this book apart is its view of the body not as a passive victim, but as a silent hero. Your body, van der Kolk argues, is not just a repository for pain. It is built to protect you, to hold these memories until you're ready to face them. Imagine your body as a steadfast guardian, preserving your secrets until the moment you're prepared to unlock them. But this guardian speaks a different language, not of words, but of sensations, movements, and rhythms. Let's return to Elias because his story is far from over. After years of carrying that unrelenting tension, he began to notice something peculiar. On walks through the forest near his home, a sense of ease would wash over him. The crunch of leaves beneath his feet, the steady rhythm of his breath, the solid earth grounding each step. It was as if something inside him was beginning to soften. He didn't know why, but he felt his body urging him to keep moving, to keep listening. This quiet discovery led him to movement therapy, where he learned to hear his body's voice instead of silencing it. This brings us to the book's revolutionary insight. Healing doesn't happen solely in the mind or through conversation. Trauma resides in the body, so it must be healed through the body. Picture trying to restore an ancient painting. Talking about the cracks won't mend them. You must touch the canvas, gently repaint the faded colors. That's what practices like yoga, dance therapy, or mindful movement do. They're not mere exercises. They're a dialogue with your body, a way to tell it that it's safe to let go of the pain it's been holding. Let me share another story to bring this to life. A woman named Sarah suffered from chronic back pain for years. Doctors could find no physical cause, yet the pain flared whenever she faced stress. In a yoga therapy session, She was asked to focus on her body's movements while breathing deeply. As she stretched her arms slowly, a memory surfaced. A childhood moment of feeling alone in a silent, empty house. She hadn't realized this memory was lodged in her back, in the muscles that had borne the weight of that loneliness. With each gentle movement, the pain began to fade, as if her body had finally found a way to tell its story. Let's pause for a philosophical reflection. The body and mind are not separate entities, as we've long assumed. They are like a river and its banks, interwoven, each shaping the other. Trauma disrupts this connection, leaving us like residents of a city who can't access certain streets. Techniques like movement or sound therapy rebuild these pathways, reminding us that the body is not a mere machine but a partner in our journey through life. Here's another example. A young man named Omar struggled with recurring anxiety attacks after losing a close friend in an accident. In traditional therapy, he talked about the loss, but the anxiety persisted. Then he tried sound therapy, listening to the steady rhythms of drums while focusing on his breath. In one session, he felt a release in his chest, followed by tears he couldn't explain. His body was finally expressing the grief it had stored. The simple drumbeats were like a key, unlocking a door he didn't know was closed. These stories highlight a vital truth. Healing is not about willpower or intellectual understanding alone. It's a process of patience and listening. Your body is not your adversary, even when it sends painful signals. It's trying to communicate, pleading for your attention. Think of it as an old friend sharing a long, intricate story. You can't rush or ignore them. You must sit, listen, and give them space to tell it all. Let's dig deeper. Trauma doesn't just alter how you feel. It reshapes how you engage with the world. When your body holds a memory of fear or betrayal, you might flinch at a gentle touch, shy away from crowded spaces, or find it hard to trust others. This isn't a flaw. It's your body's attempt to shield you. But over time, these defenses can isolate you like a fortress with walls too high to climb. Healing through the body helps lower those walls, not by force, but by teaching your body it's safe to open up again. Let me share another experience. A woman named Lena struggled with sleeplessness after a family loss. In an art therapy session, she was asked to draw what she felt without overthinking. She began with swirling blacks and blues, but then, almost unconsciously, added strokes of yellow. When asked about the drawing, she said the yellow represented a fleeting sense of hope. This simple exercise helped her reconnect with a part of her body that was trying to tell her healing was possible. The act of drawing became a bridge, linking her to emotions she'd buried deep. What makes these approaches so powerful is that they don't demand a complete understanding of your trauma. You don't need to recall every detail or dissect every moment. All you need is to let your body speak. Imagine it like releasing a river trapped behind a dam. You don't need to trace every drop's origin. Just let the water flow. This is what movement, art, or sound therapy does. It gives your body permission to express, release, and heal in its own time. Let me offer some practical steps you can try. Start with a simple exercise. Find a quiet space and take 5 deep breaths. With each breath, notice where your body feels tense or relaxed. Don't try to fix it. Just observe. This small act is a first step toward hearing your body's voice. Another practice is free writing. Note any physical sensation you feel during the day, like a tightness in your stomach or a weight on your shoulders. Ask yourself, when have I felt this before? The answers might uncover connections to past moments you hadn't considered. Another effective exercise is mindful movement. Try walking slowly in a room or park, focusing on the feel of your feet against the ground. Notice the rhythm of your steps, how your body moves with each breath. This practice helps calm your nervous system, like rebooting a computer that's begun to lag. It's not about forcing change, but creating a space where your body feels safe to let go. These small steps, done regularly, can become a path back to yourself. Let's explore why this matters on a broader scale. Trauma doesn't just affect you as an individual. It shapes how you connect with others. When your body carries a memory of pain, you might shy away from closeness, feel overwhelmed by noise, or struggle to feel safe in relationships. This isn't weakness. It's your body's protective instinct. But over time, these instincts can create distance, like a castle with gates locked tight. Healing through the body helps reopen those gates, teaching you to feel safe in the world again. Let me share one more story. A man named Kareem suffered from chronic headaches after a period of intense work stress. Medical tests showed no cause, but the pain persisted. In a mindfulness workshop, he was guided to focus on his breath and notice where tension lived in his body. As he did, he recalled a moment from his youth when he felt powerless to help his struggling family. The headaches, he realized, were his body's way of carrying that old burden. Through guided movement and breathing, the pain began to ease, as if his body was finally laying down a weight it had carried for years. Let's return to Elias to complete his story. After his forest walks and movement therapy, he took a bolder step. He joined a sound therapy group, where participants sat in a circle, listening to the rhythms of drums and bells. During one session, as the sounds reverberated through the room, Elias felt something shift in his chest, like an old knot unraveling. Tears came, not because he recalled a specific memory, but because his body had found a way to release something it had held for years. That moment was a turning point, not a complete cure but a step toward freedom. Elias's transformation wasn't instantaneous. Healing is not a straight line. It's a winding river, with moments of progress and moments of struggle. But something had changed. He began to see his body not as a prison but as a gateway. He learned to trust its signals, to listen to its tension rather than fight it. This shift made him more present, more capable of facing life's challenges without feeling overwhelmed. His body, once a silent bearer of pain, became a partner in his journey. Let me leave you with a final reflection. Healing from trauma is not just about fixing what's broken. It's about rediscovering who you are. When you listen to your body, you uncover not only pain but also strength, hope, and the capacity to live with peace.